Hi there, my name is Justin Holness and I'm the Digital Media Director with Prototype D, and we're here standing outside of the Innovation Center at Bayview Yards, and we're about to meet up with Richard Quigley, our Interim Managing Director, as well as some of the investors. And Richard is going to give us a tour of the current development stages of the Innovation Center, as well as an update for all of our innovators and entrepreneurs.
Well, we're going to have, this is going to be the courtyard in the back, and there's going to be a couple of features in here. At this end, there's going to be two very, very long gardens that we're getting a local group from the Southwest Community Health Center and some people from Hindenburg and Mechanicsville. They're going to run a community garden here. There's going to be an orchard with fruit-bearing trees in the back as well. So some challenges with making sure that we do the right things with the soil in this area, but this is going to be a really nice green space for people who want to picture what it is. This is Concourse or Main Street. This is where our cafe is going to be in the building. So it's the connecting between the two wings in the building. The east wing being for the incubators, the west wing being where service providers, corporate innovation tenants, and Invest Auto on the second floor. So this is going to be the place where we're going to enforce coffee's only available here, so we know people are going to frequent this area. We have a service. We went through a competitive bid, and we have a service provider called Think Lunch that's going to be providing the cafe service, so food service, and also catering. While not on an exclusive basis, they're going to be a recommended caterer for the space. So this east wing first floor is basically where service providers will reside, such as Hunters, Centers of Excellence. We have IRAP, ACIP, Thai Ottawa, Canadian Manufacturers and Exporters. As well, we're going to have a series of seats that we'll make it available to corporate innovative companies that want to come in with projects or teams that will reside here and to add to the part of the community. There's going to be a lot of meeting spaces. There'll be 3 meeting spaces down at that end, and 2 large ones at this end, as well as, I think there's only 5 post offices along here. The whole building is 55,000 square feet, but there's only 11 post offices. It's really focused on meeting space and open work areas. So all the furniture along here is going to be workspaces as opposed to those sort of enclosed cubicles. It's a very wide open space. This is our theater area. We kind of historically call it the well because one original design had historically that it would be tiered, but that structurally wasn't a good idea. So the name remains well, but it's not a well anymore. We now refer to it as just a theater. It's going to have a 250-person capacity in a basic configuration, and then it can open up to 300 persons after that if you were to go the full width of the room. On the back side, there's going to be 4 tiers on the back that will provide some sort of elevated seating for people to get that theater look. The feature of this place when it's all done will be historic windows, the heritage windows in front of some, I guess, the LEED required windows and that. We expect this place to be used for, we're going through right now looking at many different ways to use it because of all the, actually now it's nice to see it without all the stuff in it because I really get a sense of the size of it. For different kind of functions, whether someone want to come in for a seated banquet or they want to come in and use it for a trade show or a theater kind of presentation. We're looking at different technologies for our screens, and that the original thing is to have one set of screens and projectors for the main area, and then a second set behind that should we want to open it up. We're looking at some technology that will allow us to easily reconfigure without having two sets of everything in here, which is good. If we do it, it's quite innovative, the idea that they're coming up with. Where we are behind us, when you first come in, that's the reception area down below, but when you first come in, if you've seen the renderings, there's a feature staircase that'll come up where the wooden temporary spaces are across and wind up to the upstairs through there. And it's going to be a large structural steel, it's actually being built right now, I guess, is it?
Yeah, Monday.
Monday? Oh, I'm up to mine.
That's why we took the round down. Getting ready.
Getting ready, okay. So that's going to be a feature. We're going to be doing, be using it to, one of the things we're going to do is this fall we're going to be announcing a competition for Ottawa innovators, and we're going to pick 10 names a year, and we're going to put emboss it or have some way putting their names onto the staircase. Over time, we'll just keep adding more year after year. So that's something that we'll be announcing probably in the end of October. So in this area, the reception, as I said, the reception here, visually there'll be a very beautiful red steel staircase going to the second floor. For me, this feature wall here is where we're going to promote the main tenants and the main partners in the building, such as Carlton and Prototype D and the main mill and Invest Ottawa and other partners that come on, the large partners, as well as recognition of who the tenants are in the building. There's going to be a large video wall over there. We're going to have a digital content system in place that we can promote events in the building, where we can promote any programs that you have going on in the building, companies that you want to give profile to. We're going to have ways to do that as well. It's going to be integrated with all of the digital media displays in the building, so we'll have access to and all those monitors will be IP addressed, so we'll be able to push content out individually should we need it for those things. It's also part of it, we're going to use as part of our fire and health, life safety things. If we have to evacuate the building, there'll be the usual bells and whistles and lights, and then we'll also try to take advantage of having digital content everywhere. So, okay, this is the professional suite. That's right. This is where we are right now. Invest Ottawa is going to have some benching here for a drop-in area, where they're going to almost like a membership-based thing. So people who aren't part of the incubator but want to come in and use the space, they can become part of that membership package with them. Meeting space is part of the common space, so this is space that's available to any tenants in the building. The one on the right, we're designated as our professional services suite, so companies that don't necessarily qualify to come in as a tenant or on our corporate innovation side, they can rent that suite for the day and have office hours and sort of hang a shingle and say, Gallons can come and say, here's our IP experts here today. You have any questions for it, come. Or they can just host it for meetings of their own and have their own guests come in. So that's the only. Behind we have, we're referring to these are privacy booths. This is something that IO finds they have a high need for. IO being Invest Ottawa. People to be able to have a place where they can have quiet conversations out of the common space without having to access meeting room space. So there will be some sound baffling going on. If you were to stand there right now and speak, it would be a bit echoey, but I understand there will be some sound baffling. So if you speak, and these ones are meant just for prices. There's no telecom, there's no data, no electricity. It's ready to go in, do what you have to do, and then it's not meant to be a place where you park and work. So this is the main incubator space. Where we are right now, there's going to be we're planning to have some social innovation seats in the building, and that would be along where we are right now. The Invest Ottawa incubator basically wraps around the outside of sort of where the center where these columns are. The center of the space is common space, and it's what we call the spine. It's going to be a feature of the building. It's going to have a wooden lattice structure that goes from one end to the other, and some of it's movable, reconfigurable, but for the most part, it's going to be a permanent feature in there. Over the drop-in center, there's also going to be a wooden lattice structure as well, but this is going to be more fixed in place as a feature. So there's going to be lots of soft seating here, lots of places for casual meetings. So if someone's looking for a place just to sit and have a conversation without needing a meeting room, then anyone who's a tenant can come and use these things. Access to this side of the building and to the other side where the service providers are is all card access controlled. They're not considered public common spaces, but they are common to the tenants in the building. So that's where we have sort of a that's the defining difference, whether the public common spaces like the well, theater, cafeteria, reception, those things, and the common space to the building itself. Can we step out here? Yeah. This will be nice when we get the orchard in there, and in the spring and fall you can actually see the river and the downtown, but once it's in full foliage you don't get the same view, but it's still nice to see trees when you come out. We expect this to be an area that will be used by the tenants a lot, but also it'll be available for tying in with events that people might want to use inside the building. You can see they started the glass rails, examples of the glass rails are there, so that's nice. There'll be nothing really visually to impede the view. So everything feels bigger now that all the stuff is out there. Yeah. And that's a Makerspace and Digital Media Lab down there. One of their first things they're going to do is put an envelope on that section, so it'll dramatically, and the windows, and when the windows go in, it'll dramatically change. Pardon?
Like aluminum cladding?
I'm not sure what they're looking at. A couple of different options. This is the training room. This is better. The one in Best Ottawa currently is long and thin.
Yeah.
So we're repurposing there for interaction. We'll fit in here with room to spare.
Yeah.
We're looking at a sponsor to potentially bring in a pile of steel case stuff in here. It would be a lot more up to speed, but that's in progress.
There's an attachment for everything.
I actually asked about this yesterday, but
There's a bonus to name it that.
yeah, well, I should tell you some conversations on that.
Yeah.
So this is a combination. There'll be workspaces, workstations going along all the way around again the outside. It's a combination of service providers along here, and then towards the end it starts and Invest Ottawa takes over the rest of the floor. There will be 4 meeting rooms, which are part of the tenants' common space. Both of them are. They both have the articulated wall between, so they both can be expanded. So the 2 6s here can become a 12. The 6 and the 8 can expand to be the large ones as well. So we have a lot of flexibility in our meeting space to be able to reconfigure for different size events or meetings, that type of thing. Our event management plan, these will not be made available to the public. So for example, if someone comes in here with a conference and they're looking to have all these breakout rooms, because this sits inside one of our tenant areas, we're not going to be making those, like the 2 that are over in your area, they wouldn't be made available as breakout rooms for a conference, for example. Right. There's a large meeting room at the other end that we're going to have that is accessible without going through a working area. So that will be part of the offering for a breakout. But the distinction is whether or not you have to pass through an active working area in the building. Because that's one of the things. If we bring an event in here, we have to manage it around what's actually going on in the building at the same time. So these will be the Invest Ottawa offices for whatever purpose they use them for, soft landings or executive or whatever they want. So this is going to be workstations going pods of 4 going the whole length of this side here. This is going to be a 24-person boardroom back here, and it's going to have benching in it and different things. But this is one that we'll be able to access without going into the working spaces. So it's part of our event management plan to be able to make this accessible for breakouts or to rent.
It's pretty cool.
That's a good space. It's in a very good spot.
Pretty good meeting room.
Yeah. Similar to on the first floor, there's going to be another sort of soft casual. This is Ian's office when it comes up to the second floor. So it'll have 2 tiers and casual seating. There's no AV or anything in here. That's really for people for informal meetings or just to hang out in a quiet spot. There's no power in the benches or anything like that. So it's just meant to be.
It's like long benches.
Lie on your back.
Yeah, just padded.
I was going to say nap.
Nap too.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. There's also on this one, we don't need to go, but there's going to be a kitchenette in the future, and there's the photocopy room is down that way as well.
So that was our tour of the Innovation Center today. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and follow us on our social media to see any further updates of the Innovation Center at Bayview Yards.